Dark origins. The most disturbing deaths in human prehistory. Mass graves? Crushed skulls? Arrowheads embedded in spines? No, this isn't a crime scene. It's our ancient past. Long before written history, before kings or cities, humans were already dying violently, sometimes at the hands of predators, and sometimes each other. Today, we uncover some of the most shocking prehistoric deaths ever recorded, so graphic that they made experts physically sick. This is not just about how early humans died. It's about how violence, conflict, and even compassion shaped who we are. Before we became apex predators, we were prey. In South Africa, a skull belonging to a young hominin catalogued as SK54 was found with 2 small puncture holes. They matched the canines of a leopard almost perfectly. This child, living over 1.5 million years ago, was most likely killed, dragged into a tree, and eaten just like modern leopards do with monkeys today. In another case, 3-year-old Australopithecus child showed signs of being attacked from above, probably by a large eagle. It's hard to imagine now, but early humans looked up in fear just as much as they looked around. Predators from land and sky shaped our behaviors, our social instincts, even our tools. Fast forward to about 10,000 years ago, the tables had turned. At a place called Neolithic, near ancient Lake Turkana in Kenya, archaeologists unearthed a shocking scene. 27 bodies, men, women, even children, brutally killed. Some had crushed skulls. Others had stone blades embedded in their bones. One pregnant woman had her hands bound, possibly before execution. There were no cities, no farmland, no property to defend. These were hunter-gatherers. So why the massacre? Experts suggest it may have been over water, resources, or simple territorial conflict. But whatever the cause, it's a chilling reminder. Violence didn't start with civilization. It started with survival. In Sudan, a 13,000-year-old cemetery known as Jebel Sahaba tells an even more disturbing story. When first discovered, it looked like the aftermath of a single battle. Dozens of people with wounds from arrows and clubs, but new research revealed something darker. Many skeletons showed both healed and fresh injuries. These people survived one attack, only to die in another. This wasn't one massacre, it was a lifetime of violence. Ambushes, raids, a community under constant threat. Peace ever existed in prehistory? Jebel Sahaba shows it was rare, fragile, and short-lived. Violence wasn't limited to Africa. In South Dakota, a site called Crow Creek contains one of the most gruesome scenes in ancient North America. The remains of at least 486 people, all killed in a single attack around 1325 CE. Skulls were scalped, limbs dismembered, hands and feet cut off. Men, women, and children, all victims. The settlement had defensive walls, but that wasn't enough. Archaeologists believe this was about territory, food, and power. It was coordinated, brutal, and total. Some deaths weren't chaotic, they were calculated. At Halberstadt in Germany, dating back 7,000 years, archaeologists found 9 people, 8 men, and 1 woman dumped into a pit. All had the same injury: blunt trauma to the back of the skull. They weren't killed in battle, they were executed. Analysis showed they were outsiders, likely captives. This wasn't a spontaneous raid, it was systematic punishment. It's the earliest known evidence of organized execution, and it proves that by the Neolithic period. Humans had already created ritual killing. But not every ancient death was brutal. Some were quietly tragic. At Shanidar Cave in Iraq, the remains of a Neanderthal man tell a moving story. He had a crushed eye socket, a disabled arm, and severe arthritis. Yet, he lived for years. Someone fed him, protected him, carried him, was buried with care. It's a rare but powerful example of compassion, proof that even 45,000 years ago, we were capable of empathy.
Not all ancient deaths were violent. Some were caused by disease or accident, and they're just as haunting. In Zambia, a 400,000-year-old skull shows a person who died from massive dental infections, rotting jaw, abscesses, bone. In East Africa, a young woman's bones showed signs of vitamin A poisoning, likely from eating predator liver, which can be deadly in high amounts. In each case, the cause of death reveals something deeper: how they hunted, what they ate, how fragile life was.
These deaths, gruesome as they are, aren't just about bones and trauma. They tell us how humans adapted to fear, danger, and loss. They shaped our need for community, our instinct to protect, and sadly, our capacity for cruelty. Violence isn't the only story, but at S1 we've told again and again across continents and time, from being hunted by leopards to planning coordinated executions. We've evolved not just in body, but in the ways we fight, dominate, and survive. We often think of history as kings and empires, but the oldest stories, they're written in the ground in broken bones and unhealed wounds. Each skeleton we uncover isn't just evidence. It's a person, a life lived, a death endured. And when we look at how they died, we learn something essential about how we live. Because even in the darkest corners of human history, we see traces of who we are and who we've always been.